Hello my friends, and welcome back to Paulina Art. Today I would like to talk about the importance of a background in a painting. When I resumed painting about a year and a half ago, I took a break for about 30 years when I was working full-time as an accountant and raising my daughter. I did not paint for all that time, but I started painting again about a year and a half, and I didn't have any problem sketching or picking up colors. My biggest challenge was the background, and I knew there was some secret that I needed to discover in order to be more at ease with my backgrounds. And I think the secret for me is that the background is just as important as the main subject. If you think about it, the background is like the orchestra and the soprano is your main subject. For example, in this one, I did a video about this one with the bulky background. I feel it really adds to this painting. Same with this one. I created a bit of a smoky effect, which adds to the candle and the setting. With this other painting, I tried to make it look like wood, and I feel it really adds to the wreath. Now, when we're looking at this painting, for example, this is what you call a shadow painting. The background really is just as important as the main subject. On this one, I use a technique called the Crinkle effect. Now, I learned this technique from Andy B. Jones. He's an artist for platecraft. I'm going to attach the link of his video. But you can see how much texture and beauty this background gives to the poinsettia. I've applied one coat of varnish on this. I can see some places that I missed, which is fine because I always do 2 coats. And for this one, I wanted a more of a bright finish, so I used the satin finish. And for this, poinsettias, I use the same effect. It hasn't been varnished, so you really can see a lot of the crinkly effect. But I went a step further, and I added a variety of colors to the background, which I find it looks really pretty. Now, on this video, I'm going to show you how to do the crinkly effect, which is what I learned from Andy. And what he used was this satin varnish that works extremely well, and some tissue paper. This is the tissue paper you use for wrapping gifts before they go in a gift bag. And what I did is I crumpled it up really well and just stretch it out to make sure it's going to fit my canvas. And what I do, you're supposed to shake this before using it, but it's never a good idea to shake it. So what I did is I did this a few hours in advance, just roll it back and forth to make sure everything it's good. And then I just spray it on the canvas like this. Make sure my canvas is covered, and I use a big filbert brush. I prefer a filbert brush because when you are spreading color or paint or whatever it is, it really doesn't leave ridges like a flat brush would. So you move quickly, make sure this doesn't dry up. Make sure your whole surface is covered, even the edges, because we're going to carry the paper to the edges. Just like that. I think it needs more. You have to add a generous coat of varnish in here because we want the paper to stick in here. Make sure we're not missing any areas. Like I said, the sides are important too. And once we think that's good enough, we are going to apply the tissue paper on top. And we want some of the crinkles to show, really. I don't want to make sure this is totally smooth, because that's why I want to do that. Make sure it's pressed on the canvas and on the sides. Just like that. And I do want to see crinkles. Now once this is set on your canvas, we're going to apply another generous coat of this satin varnish. And we're going to smooth it out, just like we did on our first coat. Practicing with backgrounds and trying different things, it's really gonna help. I know it has helped me a lot. Before, like I mentioned earlier, I used to struggle a lot with the backgrounds. I didn't know how to make the background interesting. But by experimenting, I feel my backgrounds are getting much better, and I realize how important they really are, how they really support your main subject of the painting. So make sure you put it on the sides, because we want this to cover everywhere, the corners. The paper really needs to be saturated, because it's going to have to stick to the canvas. I'm just going to add a little bit more, just to be on the safe side. Make sure you're pressing too, so you don't get any paper bubbles. And this is how you do a crinkle background. Now you're going to have to let this dry. I usually do it in the evenings and let it dry overnight. The next morning you're going to need to peel these edges off, that they're going to come out very easily, and you're going to have a very interesting background for your composition, if you feel this kind of background will suit the kind of painting that you have in mind. What I'm planning for this painting, I feel this crinkly background, it's gonna work really well. I'll share with you this painting once it's done. It's not gonna be a Christmas painting. And this is one way on how to create a very interesting background. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learned something from it, and we'll see you on the next time. Thank you so much for watching.